Hello there friends, welcome to the Totally Lightweight Show, and I'm your host Anirban Dey, and this is our tonight show. And tonight we're doing this show without any crowds because of the coronavirus, and we usually have like millions of crowds. I love to crowd surfing, yes. I'm not lying. What do you think? Don't look at me like that, camera. Anyways, so let's get started. I mentioned the term coronavirus, yes. Now what is it? Let's just have a DNA analysis of this coronavirus. Well, first of all, let's see how it all started. So it all started back in China, yes. If you're an American, you're thinking in your that mind on the top of your head that, oh, it is our enemy country, that very enemy country that always compete against us, like we are the second boy in the class and they're the first boy. But no, they are infected by disease and they won't be able to give the examinations. We're going to top the exam. But don't be like that, because it was the thinking of me, it was my thinking also in the early January when it affected only Chinese people. But now it's a world crisis. Alright. So let's just say that how it all started. Well, basically, first of all, Chinese people are so fussy about their food. You know, they eat beautiful foods like bats, like other animals, and who knows what. So that's what is the main of the problem. It's good. You know, we should eat these kind of things more often. And we will be able to produce this kind of disease also. Like, you know, just think about this. You use your mobile phones, those are made in China. And now when you will go to your doctor next time, you will say, hey doctor, this is my disease made in China. Okay. If it is not funny, well, definitely it is not time for being racist. If you're thinking that I'm being racist, I'm not. Just in this show, we will try to make fun of everyone. Just to see the love on your face. Because the more you love, the more you live. And we want your longer life, right? Because you know what? You die, you will come to me to haunt me as a ghost. And I don't want that. Alright. So, let's talk about, like, it's a project. We talked about the origin of coronavirus. Now, after, originating, it spreaded like a virus. Of course it's a virus. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But the worst suffering countries are Italy, Iran, and South Korea. Of course, South Korea should, like, North Korea and South Korea, these two countries, anyways, kind of like them. I mean, not the people, but the government, anyways. Like, I don't like Trump. Anyways, so Italy is fighting, and I believe that Italy will overcome this condition. But I'm not sure about Iran, but also, like, people are saying that, people in Iran are dying. But I don't understand that, just for the symptoms. Who says that WHO, the World Health Organization, they say that how this disease spreads, they say that if you touch your face, or if you touch somebody, if you shake hands, if you and they say that wash your hands and to cover your face up. And now, to contrast this thing, just think about Iran. Just think about Iran. What happens there? Half of the women and more than that, they cover up their everything, face to the top. So they have the security. So how coronavirus can spread in Iran, I don't understand it. And even I don't think that in Iran people do handshake. Because they are like, oh, their women are covered up from toe to the bottom and everything else. So how coronavirus is spreading in Iran, I don't know. Anyways, contrast to that, it also in United States of America. Yeah, where people give a giant hug to everyone at the start of the day and the end of the night. That's true. But now, when it is in the United States of America, people are taking big steps. And the president, the prime minister, I was going to say his prime minister, yes, if you are going to point me in the comments, hey, you were trying to say it wrong, you were trying to say this prime minister, then I'm going to say that no, because he just visited the Indian prime minister 1 month ago, and he was so affected by prime minister. Even the Indian prime minister called Donald Trump, not Donald Trump, he called him Donald Trump, the worst baby in your house, like, oh, Papa, bring me baby, whoa. Anyways, so Trump visited India with his whole family. And in front of your whole family, when your family member, the head of the family is called, in a different name that is not even, so how other family members think. I'm sure that Melania Trump was thinking that, how can you call my husband like that, huh? Anyways, apart from that, Donald Trump also mispronounced a lot of tough words in Hindi. That's, formidable. Like he pronounced the religious teacher's name wrong, like said something, Swami Vivekananda, I don't know. He can only do that. But, a lot of people took heart of him, like saying, hey, big Joe, can you tell me that? Hey, you are not a president, how you can't even pronounce a single word? You're a mad person, you're a drunk alcoholic, addict, said things like that. I'm telling you guys, that just think about it. If Donald Trump can't even pronounce English words, he can't even pronounce tolerate it. So how he is supposed to pronounce those tough Hindi words? Just now imagine if Donald Trump were to give this whole speech in Hindi, just imagine how would he have given this speech? He would have been like, मैंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, मेरी बारी अच्छा है, bigly, and things like that. It wouldn't have made sense either. But, after the spread of coronavirus, Donald Trump even addressed the nation from, I'm not going to say that he addressed the nation in front of the helicopter, but this is the first time, man, he addressed the nation from the Capitol Hill house. But he is usually used to address the whole nation in front of a helicopter. We're doing really great. This disease will go away. Nothing to be afraid. This is a normal disease. This will go away. And I'm standing in front of this big car with a big fan in front of his head. And I said it's a big fan. I'm gonna fly with this car. And this car is so bigly, huge car, huge. That was the difference, Even his opposition said, wow, Donald Trump did this. He addressed the nation from the White House. So mean. Meanwhile, USA are preparing so hard to combat this disease. People are self-quarantined, they're not leaving home, schools, colleges are closed, and even it's affecting the election. And from that election name, let's talk about the Democratic primary. Alright. So, now if we want to talk about the Democratic primary, now it all started with Pete Buttigieg winning by 1% against not Joe Biden. I'm using his name because Joe Biden is a front runner now. It was Bernie Sanders versus Pete Buttigieg first, but now the whole game has changed. How did it change? We don't know. But after Super Tuesday, it becomes Joe Biden versus Bernie Sanders. And now Joe Biden has a tremendous lead. Though Bernie Sanders hates it, and he often says that, I had the 1% lead in front of me, I had the 1%, and Joe doesn't deserve, you're a liar, you're a procrastinator. And then, now I see why people are not voting for him. Just think of this coronavirus. Who dies? Who are dying? Only the older people are dying. And think of Bernie Sanders, 78 years old, and when he coughs like that, in between a speech, like, I'm going to debate you, how people are likely to vote for him. When people know that he's going to die after becoming the president, there's going to be the big headline. The US president, Bernie Sanders, died just after becoming president. The nation wouldn't want that, right? Then Donald Trump would be like, okay, so I was running against Bernie. Bernie won, he died, so I'm the president again. So I think that's why the US, people are taking it so heavily on their shoulder to elect a person who's going to live long. Yes, and that's going to be Joe Biden, 1 year younger than Bernie Sanders. That's tough. But now it's seeming like people are afraid to go vote amid this pandemic situation. So I think that's Bernie Sanders not getting his voters because they're not going out to vote for him. But that's okay, we can resurrect it. But that was about US. Now, Elizabeth Warren, and suddenly Pete Buttigieg entered the race, and suddenly Mike Bloomberg. Oh yeah. By the name of Mike Bloomberg, just think about Mike Bloomberg. Like, Mike Bloomberg is like you have like 1.5 GB per day internet connection in your phone. Just think about it. Okay, imagine it. 1.5 GB internet connection in your phone, and you install an application of 1.3 GB, and suddenly after installing, you're deleting this application without using it. How much that will hurt you, huh? That will hurt you really much. Now think about Michael Bloomberg's condition. He wasted like billions and millions of dollars on his campaign, and his name on the ballot came for like once, and then he dropped out like nothing. And then he put all his money behind Joe Biden. Like, I am supporting for Joe Biden, I'm endorsing Joe Biden. So that's what he did. He wasted all his money for this Joe Biden. But anyways, people are saying that after the debate, the Sunday debate, Joe Biden shouldn't have won, but he won again, and he got a big lead ahead of Bernie Sanders just because of the coronavirus. Because a lot of voters are afraid and they're not getting out of their home, because Americans are right now, they are self-quarantined, they're at home. And yes, that's a big thing. But apart from America, how is India doing? Now we need to find out. And in order to find it out, we welcomed a very special guest on our show, who is from India and who is an Indian student. And he traveled the whole India as an exchange student from one state to another. And he is a very typical Indian guy, and we're going to interview him. I am also an Indian, but after watching him, I see that I'm not Indian. And what is his name? Wait, I'm not going to tell you. That's a surprise for you. Because here, tonight, my guest is... That's a big surprise. We will find it out. Like Joe Biden said, that we will find out how much we're going to spend for, healthcare. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out that. But again, let's see. So, let's see what happens with our guest. Because now, I'm going to welcome my guest. Please welcome the guest from India.
Assalamualaikum. How are you, man?
Hey, welcome. Welcome to the Totally Lightweight Show. So just tell me, how are you and what is your name? Because, your name is a big surprise for our viewers. So tell me your name, please.
Oh yeah, that's a big surprise, man. So guys, I'm an Indian and my name is Muhammad Krishna Buddha. Assalamualaikum. And I'm a student. Of course, I'm a student, and I travel all over the India as an extreme student.
That's so interesting, so incredible. As a student, you've traveled the half of India. As your age, I don't think that what I would have done. I mean, I'm your age, I guess, but I have done nothing. Just here doing this show, this is a single place, never anywhere else. So, anyways, by traveling, the thing I remember that our viewers, we were talking about that just a moment ago before welcoming that, the coronavirus is a thing right now. I think you would agree with this. So how are you, coping with this situation? And like United States of America, like there are people are quarantining, self-quarantining, they're not coming out of home. The toilet paper are running out in the stores. There are panic moments for those. So in the contrast, how India is preparing, tell us something about that.
So yeah, so Indian people are very concerned about the virus. They were fighting against the virus, like WHO, World Health Organization recommend us to sanitize our hand with a sanitizer based on alcohol. So a lot of people are going on with this, but some people who can't afford to buy this kind of thing like sanitizer, which is very expensive for them, so they are using a drink for washing their hand. So they took a little bit of drink to wash their hand. They also drink the liquid, the alcohol-based liquid to wash their inner virus. the stomach-based virus. So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about.
और इसके बाद आपने थोड़ा सा और इसको अच्छी तरह से आपने सैनिटाइज करना है और ये इस तरह से आप इसको सैनिटाइज करेंगे।
ऐसे सैनिटाइज ये हुआ आउटर बॉडी का। उसके बाद आपने
इनर बॉडी का भी आप
ज्यादा नहीं लेना है, थोड़ा सा ढक्कन में लेके एक तरह से दवाई के तौर पर
हाँ डॉक्टर साहब जी
तो ऐसे करके आपने इसको
तो ये इन्होंने लेना और ये
तो आप बाहर से भी सैनिटाइज हो गए, अंदर से भी सैनिटाइज हो गए।
And let's talk about our politician. Our politician are providing the cow tongue and cowpea to the people for a fight against the virus. According to them, it help us to fight against the virus. They are very educated for, they can do better than the doctors are doing all over the world. Like every doctor, every scientist are trying to find the medicine to fight against the virus, but the Indian politician and a lot of people kind of this, they are selling the cow tongue, cowpea, and they are giving the people.
With no cure yet from the deadly coronavirus, which has killed more than 3,000 people, mostly in mainland China, Indian leaders claim to have a cure to coronavirus, while scientists are still finding it difficult to find an antidote to it. UP Chief Minister, first one on the ranks, Yogi Adityanath, has said that it can be cured by practicing yoga regularly. He also said that coronavirus can be avoided if a person overcomes mental stress. It's not just Yogi Adityanath who seems to have a cure, but another BJP MLA in Guwahati, Suman Haripriya, claimed that cow urine and dung can cure the virus. She stated that during ancient times, rishis performed havan using cow dung to purify the air, and since coronavirus is an airborne disease,
This is Indian to fight against the coronavirus, and this is very workable. You can't imagine how it works.
That's a big step to stop coronavirus. Wow, I think every country should have taken this kind of steps. Yeah, that's why I think people say that India is really great. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yes. So thank you for joining my show. Thank you, and I hope that you will stay safe, and the people of India, they will stay safe too. And thank you for coming to my show. And see you next time. We will call you later when this coronavirus stuff's over. Thank you. Big hand for Muhammad Krishna Buddha. It was our show guest. Thank you guys. Muhammad Krishna Buddha. Thank you for that. Oh no. So, it was our guest. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you. And so there we have it. It was our guest edition. And now we're going to have our final closing monologue. But before, give a bye, huge bye handshake. I mean, one handshake, bumping this guy, little bumping to our guest.
Bye, asshole.
Crazy Indian guests in the show. Anyways, so by the way, it was our guest edition. By the way, what kind of guest was that? What do you say about India? Like, people are using like cow pee and cow dung for the cure this disease. Wow, now that's so shitty. Who does that? Only this party can does. It's a dumb asshole idea. What kind of country is it even? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it could be like, I don't know about who runs the country, but the politician. You told about the politician suggesting this. I don't know about. I'm not supposed to say anything about the politicians, but anyways. So let's move on from India to United States of America, of course, where people are taking measures more scientifically rather than, like India. Anyways, no comments. So now, all the situations, 2020 November presidential election. If in these circumstances, Trump would have visited this country, he would have been very pleased. Like, you don't have to spend for the Medicare, you don't have to spend for anything. Just, some things like really easy available, like cow dung and cow pee. That's gonna, this is gonna be really great thing. I'm gonna adopt this. We don't need anything. Just, go to your firms, call for your cows, collect the peas, and be safe from the disease. So huge. Me. But anyways, let's focus on Trump's electability. Well, Trump is doing hard. He's announced everything's closed, no work's gonna be done, everyone should be self-quarantined and should stay at home, everything. But is that gonna really help? People are really gonna re-elect him for this thing? Think about economy. It is really hitting hard, and United States of America's economy is really falling down. Now let's think about it. When people were really excited about the 2020 November presidential election, now the presidential election is in a doubt because of coronavirus, so people are not allowed to gather, large gathering is cancelled. So the conclusion is therefore, folks, the November 2020 presidential election is cancelled. And Trump, after hearing like, okay, so presidential election is cancelled, so I'm gonna be the president for the next 4 years automatically. Incumbent Republican, automatically. Automatic. Systematic. Anyways. Well, presidential election is being delayed and a lot of things are delayed, but also entertainment media is delayed too. Just think about the Bond movie was supposed to release, but now the Bond movie is delayed. It's gonna be released on November, I guess, if this disease goes away. Otherwise, I don't think when it's gonna release. Okay. And again, also a lot of large, NBC, NBA, and like big major sports events are cancelled. So that's really hitting hard. Large gatherings are cancelled, and so on these circumstances, we know what is the future of world. Or we do, I don't know. But when we don't know the future of the world, it's like the Christmas time. Okay guys, do you remember the Michael Bublé song? Michael Bublé song? Do you remember the song? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We thought this changing it like to the current circumstances, to this pandemic situation. So we came up with this thing. So here we go guys, I wrote this song and let's go. Oh, okay, so 3, 2, 1, let's get started. It's beginning to look a lot like pandemic. Everywhere you go, from USA to Iran, Italy is too affected. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's quarantined once again. With no toilet papers and food in every store. Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like pandemic. There you have it. We have a great show tonight. Thank you for having us. And I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, please go below, like, subscribe to the channel, and make us famous because we want to be famous before we get affected by the virus. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Hey guys, how are you doing? So there was another video of our Totally Lightweight channel, and if you want to subscribe our channel, please do subscribe, like, and click the bell icon to get further notification of any other further video that we make. And please comment, let us know, to be honest, that how this video impressed you or not, and let me know if you liked it or not. So yeah, and if you want to follow either of us in any kind of social media, the links are in description box. Go and please do the following, because if you don't encourage us, then we won't be able to make any further videos for you. And stay safe, wash your hands, and don't touch your face, not in your shower. Oh shit, damn, fucking.